All right, we're gonna see how many reps of 225 can I get as a 405-pound bencher. Let's see. All right, the moment of truth. Let's see how many reps I can get at 225. Okay, before we start today's video, I would like to quickly shout out my workout program, right? Program I designed myself to help me get to a 405 bench, a 635 deadlift, and a soon-to-be 500-pound squat with just, a month and a half of training, right? But quick disclaimer, right? If you just have slightly above average genetics, I would 100%, stay away from this workout program if you don't want to be called a fake natural, right? Even if you're not using performance enhancing drugs, this workout program will probably make you labeled a fake natty, right? I'll have the evidence right here and right here and right here. But I'll just use those because this could be a whole clip by itself. But again, it's only $5, less than a Big Mac, but more fulfilling. All right, back into the video. Okay, so getting straight into the video, right? I'm a 405 bencher, right? Here's a video of me benching 405. Come on! Fucking easy, bro. All right, so I decided to put it to the test. How many reps of 225 can I do? All right, decided to do my own mini NFL combine, if you will, right? And actually, here's an image of the various football positions on how many reps of 225 they got in their respective positions, right? So I was expecting me to be a little bit like in the running back or above the running back or like even higher, right? Because again, I bench 405, right? But before, I show you the clip of me bench pressing 225, I want you to understand two things, right? There's this thing called explosiveness, and then there's this thing called endurance, right? So I train for explosiveness, right? And you're probably wondering, okay, what's explosiveness? Explosiveness is just pretty much a max. You are outputting max optimal force into one thing, right? Like each rep you usually see me do, I explode, right? Like here's me bench pressing 315. If you notice that clip, I explode on each rep, right? That 315 gets down to my chest and then boom, I come up, right? That's full optimal force, right? And now you're wondering, okay, endurance. Endurance is, consistently having a sub-maximal output of force during a period of time, like a duration. You're trying to keep it up. Like you're not going full out, but you're trying to keep a sub-max consistent, right? Think of like long run, like, no, that wouldn't be good. Just think about like marathon runners, right? They train for endurance. They're running all the time and they're just trying to keep up that, that VO2 max. They're trying to keep up the endurance, how like long your body can withstand those long runs, those long distances. And then think about like something like a basketball player, right? They train for explosive power by doing like vertical box jumps, right? For that like sick dunk, that explosiveness, right? That goes into that one thing. Like the whole point is to explosively jump high, to get up high as possible. You don't see them dunking each fucking basketball. I mean, unless like you're Vince Carter or something, right? But each session, they'll probably like have one explosive dunk or two maybe during one game, right? It's not the whole fucking 2 hours of that basketball duration, right? That's just insane. At that point, you're probably running some stuff, right? You're probably on that LeBron diet. Let me not calm my boy LeBron. He's awesome. Anyways, right? So that's the difference, right? And like I said, I trained for explosiveness. So I was like, okay, but I'm curious to see how many reps of 225 can I get if I could bench 405. It should still be up there, right? And you're about to find out right about now. All right, the moment of truth. Let's see how many reps I can get at 225. Whew. Six. Oh, fuck. Right? So you saw, I'm counting, I think I did about 17 reps. I'm counting that last rep. I don't care. It got fully locked out, and my long ass, orangutan ass arms takes 3 business days to come up and come down. It was not going over that hook. And I was like, it's so sad because I was just watching the whole time. I'm like, fuck. And then it was embarrassing. And I think a lot of people there who never really see me that much, they're like, did this motherfucker just fail 225? And this boy weighs almost about 225 pounds, right? Embarrassing, right? But getting back to the point, I don't bench for like duration, for endurance. I bench for explosiveness, right? But for me to get to 17 reps, I was within the wide receiver range. Like again, I posted the image of the various football positions, right? I was in the wide receivers, and there's wide receivers who are strong as shit, right? And I guess I would consider myself pretty strong. Because statistically, most people aren't bench pressing 225, right? Here are the stats right here. Not a lot of people are touching 225. Right? And I'm able to do it for 17 reps. But again, a lot of people would be like, I thought you could do it for like 30 plus. Again, it doesn't really transfer over to that because I'm going for explosiveness. I'm going for like maximal output of force within like immediately, not over a duration or a long period of time, right? Where I can keep that up. That's called submax, right? You're not going at a full power. You're just going at like a decent amount of strength for a long period of time. So I was honestly though kind of disappointed in myself because I was expecting at least 20, 25. I'm not going to make any excuses for myself because again, the biggest reason why that happens is me going for explosive power, right? But I do want to add, since I did this like at 6 a.m. in the morning, right? Right now it's like 7:45 or whatever. The difference between going in the morning, and I would wonder what it would be like if I went later in the day, right? When you wake up in the morning, this is why a lot of bodybuilders do this. You are lean. They weigh themselves out because this is the leanest they are, right? It gives them a pretty decent depiction of like where they are at in terms of like true body weight. Because, you know, you drained out all the fluids, right? Usually the water weight's kind of gone for the most part, and your body has digested all the food from yesterday, right? So again, I didn't have a lot of nutrients in me, right? I just had 2 rice cakes, a freaking energy drink, and I went straight to the gym. I was like, I'm excited. I want to see what happens. So that's one of the reasons why I think I could have at least gotten maybe like 20, like just 3 more. I think that kind of difference could have got me at least 3 more, right? But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with 17. And that's one of the biggest reasons. I'm trying to think of another. That's probably just about it. Yeah, just me lacking like all the needed nutrients, and like pretty much I'm a lot more dense later in the day, right? That we all are. That's just how it works. But me being able to bench press like at least 17 reps, just straight off the boat, as a 405 bencher, I would say is kind of lackluster. I do also, another point is, and like comparing myself, since I'm still comparing myself to the NFL, like combine, these dudes, I do have to say, I actually did proper bench form, right? I'm not saying a lot of them are improper or anything, but you know, I went out fully locked out. I'm going down, I'm going back out fully, right? That catches up to you, right? When you're doing a proper bench press, you know, it'll catch up to you. And again, like the lactic acid building up, my chest by rep 10 was like feeling pretty fried. I was like, fuck, okay. Because the first few reps was like, oh, this is easy. This is lightweight, right? You know, and what you would expect from someone who could bench 405, it should be, right? And for the most part, it was, right? And I'm weighing in about 214 pounds right now. So, you know, I was repping it out about like the 10th rep though. I'm like, okay, it's catching up to me. And again, about the 15, 16, it started feeling like probably heavier than 405, if not about the same. Cause I was like, yo, this is really like, it's catching up to me, right? The endurance was not there. Cause again, I don't train for that. So that was my biggest, that was awesome. I'm kind of really glad I tested my AMRAP, right, of 225 pounds. I kind of always thought about it. I do remember when I was like a lot more heavier, 225, I could have done it a little bit more. I don't recall how many I did, probably about 25, but again, I was like 240 pounds, and this is later in the day, so I was just a big freaking doughboy, bro. I was just a big fat little piece of, okay, I'm sorry, but I was just a big boy, right? So I am kind of curious. I might want to retest this out later, when I'm like later in the evening, when I'm a lot more fuller, filled with my carbohydrates. I got my freaking Kodiak pancakes just fucking in my stomach, right? But yeah, that was today's video. Pretty interesting to see. And yeah, if you guys have any video requests you want me to go over, please leave them down in the comment section below. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I really appreciate you guys. Thank you.